Are you coming back to school with me? We could have done it all so easily.
Hi, my name is Craig Thompson-Wood. I'm your host on Teaching with Board Games, here today to take a look at MicroMacro Crime City Full House by Edition Spielwiese and Hardboiled Games. This game, the first thing it reminded me of was like a Where's Waldo puzzle, where you have this giant map, and this is, the map is folded up inside here, and it's just, if you look closely at the thing, it's like this. This is part of it actually, and it shows you all these people involved in their activities during the day. But within there's a story that's, well, not just one story. There's several stories that are happening of crimes that are taking place, and you have to notice where the crime starts and sort of follow it through. You can, track the people's movements through it. So on the front cover here, it's kind of nice to give you a sort of sense of how it goes. It gives you the mystery to solve right on the very front cover there, where you're supposed to find out who murdered the ice cream vendor. So first thing you have to do is find the ice cream vendor, and then what you find then is a little bit of a spoiler, but I mean, the ice cream vendor leaves the shop, and then so you see the ice cream vendor in the shop, then you see them leaving the shop, and then you see the ice cream vendor at different points in the city, and you just have to sort of keep following where is this ice cream vendor walking to. So it's almost like it reminds me of like Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-Five. All time is happening at the same time. There's no past, present, future. It's all happening at once, and so you have to find out where you find the path of the ice cream vendor to where eventually the ice cream vendor is murdered and who did it. So there's several different crimes that happen in this thing, and so the role of each one's in a little envelope with a set of cards, and the cards will lead you through the steps on how to solve the crime. If the idea of crime and murder is upsetting to you, then perhaps not the game for you. But I will say with this one, now this is the second edition. There is the MicroMacro Crime City, which is the first edition. This is the second edition. This one's the Full House edition, and this one does have ratings for if you're playing with younger kids or something where you want to maybe be a little more conscientious of what kinds of crimes you're exposing them to. So that is something that is in here. Now, enough about this game. You'll understand more about it when I show you how it's played. Right now, let's take you to the report card. So for number of players, I'm going to give the game an A-. I give it an A- because it says it plays between 1 to 4 players. And, my B range is like the 1 to 4, 2 to 4 really, but I mean 1 is nice to be able to play solo mode. But there's nothing to say really that multiple groups couldn't be playing at the same time, if they're playing quietly, whispering to each other and solving different crimes. So that way they're all looking for different things, because it's a really big map, and so there's the opportunities to be playing multiple groups at one time. So I think if you are in a classroom situation, that's something that maybe you could be allowing students to be doing, is to just have one person or one group playing with one set of cards and another with another set of cards, and so on. So there is that option, and I think that kind of flexibility is really nice, and that's what pushes it into the A category for me. For learning, I'm going to give the game a C. There's really not a lot to this game. I mean, there's a little bit of reading as you read the cards, and the problem solving and the critical thinking as you piece together what's going on in the crime and finding the things. But really it's as much learning as you might find like in a Where's Waldo book or something. It's that kind of activity. So it's fun, it's engaging. There's like I said, a little bit of problem solving in there, but really there's nothing, the amount of reading that you're doing is negligible. There's no math involved. There's no other learning that'll be happening. For fun, I'm going to give the game an A. When I bought this game, I showed it to Timothy the day I bought it. He was visiting for the day, and by the time he left, I suddenly realized my game was gone. It was so much fun that he actually took it with him. I mean, I buy him a lot of games, so he just assumed I was giving him this one, but so I had to borrow it back from him to be able to do this video review of it. So it's just, I know, like with my students, my grade 5 students, a book that tends to be very popular with them is those I Spy books, the Where's Waldo, those ones where they are just, looking in a book and trying to find things within, and I mean, that's exactly what this is. You're looking at this gigantic map, this very busy map of all these things happening, and you see, different things that you can notice, and maybe they're related to a crime, or maybe they're not related to a crime, may not be sure, but it's just a wonderful picture with lots going on in it, and trying to find the pieces that you need and piece it all together is a really fun activity. I mean, Timothy certainly enjoyed it a lot, so I would highly recommend this one in terms of fun. A. For time, I'm going to give the game an A. The game plays between 15 to 45 minutes per mission, they say. And I think that's, very reasonable. I think some can maybe be done more. I mean, especially if you're playing with a group of people. I think with a group of people all looking together, you're going to find things more quickly, and especially once you start to hone down where you find the start of it, and you start to work out from there and start to trace things. I think 15 to 45 minutes is a very generous estimation, and really it's just a case of laying out the map, pulling out the cards that you need for your mission, and going to it. So the setup and the cleanup is super easy. So there's the game's going to be a very, very quick one. Certainly one that kids would love playing during indoor recesses, things like that, if you're buying it for your class. So overall, quick game, get the A. For cost, I'm going to give it a B-. I give it a B-. The game is $30 at levelup.ca, which is, I think, a very good price for a game like this that you're getting. You're going to get many hours of enjoyment. So like I said, the replayability is there. You're going to have so many missions that you can do in here. The thing is, once you've done all the missions, that's it. Unless you have a way of knowing how you can wipe your memory. Don't wipe your memory. But the missions are what the missions are, and the crimes that you solve, once you've solved them all, what they suggest in the rule book is that you could hang the poster up on a wall and challenge people who come over and say, hey, why don't you check this out? And what you're really doing there is just free advertising for the game. But I mean, if that's what you choose to do, you can do that. Once I've done them all, then I'll consider putting this in my classroom. I will consider passing this off to a family member or a friend or something. So it's, like I said, once it's all done though, it's all done. So that is the big thing of it, the limitation. But so why do I give it as high as a B, even a B-? Well, because, when you spend, say, money on a movie or something, you spend money for the movie, you go, you have the experience, and you're done. This is the same. I mean, for $30, the amount of time and fun that you're going to get out of this game is many hours worth. All right, let me take it to the table, and I'll show you how this game is played. So this is the full map of MicroMacro. It's quite big. To give you a sense of how big it is, I'm going to put a quarter right here on the map. So that quarter now gives you a sense of just how big the map is, and it's, just turn this around a little bit just to show the size here. So in the game, it includes these envelopes, and each of these envelopes is a different crime that you're going to be solving. Okay, and so it's really, really important that when you do one crime, you put the cards back and you put them back in the proper order. Otherwise, it's going to spoil it for the next person who's playing the game, or if you go back to it. Now, on the things, they also comes with this handy dandy little magnifying glass, if you want to use a magnifying glass to help you notice some details. They also give you this, like I say, in this edition, the first edition didn't have this, but this one does, where they have the ratings. So just saying how safe it is for kids. So it's just saying it can be enjoyed by children. So with this face, it's no depictions of murder, physical violence, or sexuality. No depictions of accident. It contains depictions of accidents, murders, and corpses, along with the circumstances surrounding the death. Things are explicit. But now there's no depiction of actual violence. So if somebody's being murdered, you're not going to see like the baseball bat hitting their head or them being shot or stabbed or anything like that. There'll be a dead body, and there may be a murder weapon nearby, but there's not going to be the actual violence in any case. So it's up to you to decide what your tolerance is for this kind of thing, what you are comfortable with. So you're going to start off, you're just going to open up the thing. So this one is a child-friendly theme. So it's card 1 of 6. And, okay, so it involves fire. So this is an everyday hero. Now this shows you the difficulty too. So out of 5 stars, it's a 2 difficulty. So the crime-fighting brigade has its hands full. Residents of the high-rise building on the quayside of the north of the city have reported a helpless cat that needs to be rescued from a tree. The local press is already on the way. This is a very important event. It will not be the only task facing the fire brigade today. So so the first thing you have to do is find the helpless cat in the tree. Okay, now you don't want to look on the back. The back will give you the spoilers of where things are if you're having too much trouble. But then you just go through the series of things, and so once you get to the 6 of 6, you solve the crime, and that's it. Now I'm not going to do this with you right now. Like I said, this is a very because big map, and I don't want to be scanning the whole map. But what I will show you is this. So they say get started right away. Solve the first case on the thing. So who murdered the ice cream vendor? So you can this is just, like I say, a small portion of the whole map that's down there. And on this one, you have enough information here to find the ice cream vendor. So I'm going to show you the first few steps of this one. I'm not going to solve the whole crime because I think it's still fun to do on your own. So if you don't want it spoiled for you, then please just fast forward the video now. So you're looking for the ice cream vendor. So right next to the thing here, you see the ice cream cone. So this is the ice cream store. And you see this man here, I'm assuming it's a man with a mustache, is serving ice cream to the people. Now at the side of the building here, you see he's leaving with a bag. Now you have to sort of scan around to find him again, and then you find him over here with his bag. So he's walking with his bag, and then he's down here, and then something's going to happen to him after that. So then you're going to find it. You'll find him. So like this would be the example of like a dead body. This would be the sort of the extent of the violence that you're seeing, is that there will be some dead bodies. So you'll find out who, based on the evidence in the crime and what you see in the picture, you'll be able to piece together who did it. And that is how you'll play MicroMacro Crime City. Full house. So I was very interested in this game when I'd first seen it because it was, like I said, it reminded me of, like, the first thing that jumped to my mind was Where's Waldo? But Where's Waldo with crime? And there's a story behind it, and you're trying to solve the crimes that are happening. And it's just a really novel concept. I've never seen anything like it before. And I know that my experience with students, Timothy's age, my student's age, Timothy's currently in grade 5, is that they love these kinds of books where they are just doing the, like I say, picture and find the things within the pictures. But this one takes it to the next step. It's solving something. It's problem solving while doing that hunt within the picture. And I love it. I think it's great. I think there's a lot for this. Like I said, the only downside for me is the fact that it is limited by the fact that once you've solved all the crimes, then what do you do with it after that? Well, like I said, gift it to somebody else. I wouldn't, just say, look, I played this game. I think you'd enjoy this, and off you go. And this is the second box, so there is another box edition of this, and maybe more will come out in the future too. I think this has been very popular. I mean, currently, I believe it's actually sold out at levelup.ca, but I'm sure they'll be getting more in again. To implement this game, I would be using it not in a classroom setting, for education, obviously, as I said, because there's really not a lot of education that goes on in this game, but having it available to the students for free time, for indoor recesses. If you're buying it for your home, definitely this could be a fun family activity where you are doing this together as a family, solving the crimes together and just enjoying it, or just for the kids alone to be playing on their own. I mean, this is certainly one that they're going to be motivated to play on their own. So something to consider. If you're new to the channel, then what I'm doing is I'm putting out content on a weekly basis around topics of gamification, game-based learning, and all the things that go with that. I'm a teacher of over 20 years experience with the Peel District School Board, and my mantra has always been, I teach the way I wish I was taught. I love to learn through games and gamification, and I know my students have often stated the same, and they feel that they have done a lot better. And I've seen the great things that can come out of game and gamification through things. And I just want to share my knowledge, my experience with you. And so I'm putting out these, like I said, these videos on a weekly basis. So if this sounds good to you, then please do remember to hit the subscribe button down below, like as well. It really does help the channel, and I really do appreciate it. Even that little bell icon to indicate when I'm putting out new content, which, like I said, is on a weekly basis. And if you have any ideas for things you might like to see on the channel, whether they are games or topics of gamification, game-based learning, books you'd like me to read and review, any topic for discussion, and people you'd like me to interview, then please leave me that message in the comment section below. Love to hear from the viewers as it helps me to give you relevant content. And that is going to wrap it up for today's episode. Until next time, I am Craig Thompson Wood, your host on Teaching with Board Games, saying thanks for coming to the classroom.
Are you coming back to school with me?